Good morning, everybody. I've got a really special episode today for you, thanks to Stellar Industries. Today we're at Mine Expo in Nevada, and I'm going to show you some of the biggest equipment in the world. I'm also going to show you the biggest tires in the world. All of those tires were mounted and installed with the truck that you see behind me. Stellar is the company that has provided my farm with the fuel trailer and also the corn head trailer. That's not even close to all the products that they offer in their lineup. So today we're going to take a look at everything that Stellar offers and give you guys a tour of the show. Are you ready? What you see behind me is a Stellar truck. Mounted on that Stellar truck is a Stellar crane, and in that crane is a 16,000-pound Titan tire. Is this thing crazy? All of this stuff was manufactured just down the road from me. That's why I really like working with their company. Check out the crane on the back of this thing that's lifting this 16,000-pound tire with ease. This thing has got to be the biggest tire in the world. All this heavy equipment has to be serviced using something. Check out this service track. Once you recognize the Stellar logo, you guys are going to be seeing these trucks everywhere on the road. Something that you don't pay a lot of attention to, but once you see that logo, they're everywhere. Behind me, it's kind of hard to miss. It's a Cat 798 dump truck. And I was looking at it and I was trying to figure out, if this thing got stuck, how big of a rope would I need to pull it out? This thing is absolutely massive. I've been watching some videos on these things. It's kind of my dream to drive one of these. I don't know if that will ever happen, but being able to see one up close in person is almost just as good. Let's get a closer look. Once this thing is full of dirt, how does it even dump? It's difficult for my brain to even fathom. It's wild. How does one person get to operate this?
Did you see that? Those people just walked underneath of it.
I think this mud flap is bigger than our living room, Grant.
Let's crawl underneath it. Let's crawl underneath it.
Okay.
So over time, from long 10 hours, 12 hours shift, where you're going to by far use us for some of
What in the world?
Look at this tie rod. It's as big as you are. Look at the engine oil pan.
I'd hate to be the person that has to change the oil on this thing. I used to think that farm equipment was huge, and it is, but I take it all back. I think what we're doing is pretty small in comparison to this. I think I want to start like a diamond mine. Wouldn't that be fun, Grant? Then we could get to dig around with this.
Yeah, you could pay for it. Look how big that bucket is. Sorry.
You could fit a lot of truckloads of corn in that bucket right there. Do you think they'd let me demo this? Gage really wanted to be here, but unfortunately he couldn't. And this is what he really wanted to see. So Gage, I wish you were here. And you're right, I think this is the coolest dozer here.
20%, 30%, 40%. We can do that extremely accurately because the software was developed from as much as 6 months. The next one is state of health. So the actual health state aspect.
Thing looks brand new. I think it's kind of stressful pulling a grain trailer into town and trying to navigate through Casey's to fill up and get myself a little snack and a drink. I was just thinking, I'm looking at all of these giant pieces of equipment and all of this had to get here somehow and get to the job site somehow. Look at this trailer that these things travel on. You guys know my big blue pickup truck, right? Now this might be a different color, but this just might be the biggest Cummins engine I've ever seen in my life. A little bit bigger than the one that's in my pickup. Very, very cool. So while there's no lack of large-scale equipment, I don't want to pass over the fact that there's a ton of smaller scale stuff, but then also a ton of manufacturers that just supply parts for the big equipment. So like all of the gearboxes, all the wires, the cables, and the tracks. There's truly something for every part of the industry here. But look at these tiny little mini dozers. Aren't they so cute? There's stuff here from countries all over the world, from Canada to China. Most of the brands I've never even heard of before. Thank you so much to Stellar for bringing us out to the show today. It was so cool. We got to see so much big equipment that we would never otherwise get to see. If you're interested in checking out any of Stellar's products, be sure to go check out their website and find a distributor near you. Now, back to the farm. Well, it's a sad day here on the farm. It has been a wonderful 3 years, but it is finally time for the JLGs to find a new home. For the past 3 years, we have been testing JLG telehandlers in an agricultural environment and seeing how they've been doing, giving our feedback to the company, but today is the day. Testing is over. I'm sad to see them go. But through these past 3 years, we have used the machines you see sitting behind me in every possible environment, pushing these machines to the limit and really seeing how a telehandler can be used on the farm. Do you guys remember all the cool things we've done with these machines? First, starting off with the favorite, Baby Pumpkin Mini JLG. This thing is tiny, but so mighty. Very easy access to get in and out of because it actually doesn't have a door. So you can just slide right into it and get straight to work, which is so nice. We have used this thing for cleaning up corn around the farm, pushing things into piles, very small dirt work projects. And this thing is really handy to actually be used inside of the shop because of how maneuverable it has been. So we've used this for a variety of construction and fabrication projects. And Pepper loves it. I think Pepper's going to be just as sad to see these things go as we are. Isn't that right? I want to take a quick moment and share with you something I found really helpful for these chilly harvest mornings on the farm. Start your day with a steaming mug of hot chocolate, but here's the kicker. You're gonna add a packet of this stuff called Element. It's got all these electrolytes to help out with muscle cramps, headaches, fatigue, something I think we all struggle with from time to time, especially with the long hours we put in. Best part is, it's made with real ingredients. None of that chemical mumbo jumbo you can't even pronounce. They're offering a free sample pack with every flavor included. All you have to do is use code LauraFarms at drinkelement.com. That's drinklmnt.com. And you can decide which flavor you like best. Look at that sunrise. Isn't that beautiful? You just can't beat it. Right now, they have a limited time offer flavor bundle, chocolate medley, perfect for the holiday season. Trying it is risk-free because there are no questions asked, return, and refund policy. Element keeps me going strong and helps me keep the old tractors running too. So thank you so much for your support of them. Now, back to the work. So you may have seen these in the background of some of my most recent videos. We did not buy 3 brand new JLGs. In fact, these are still prototypes. Okay, so let's go back a few weeks. Let's go back to Husker Harvest Days. Do you remember I was walking around, I talked to a whole bunch of different vendors, and Grant, Dad, and I spent quite a bit of time at the JLG booth talking with some super nice people. And they had this problem. They really just didn't want to take these home. So they wondered if they could send them home with us. And of course, I said, yes, duh. So they are on our farm. They're not paying me for any of this, but I am here to test these out. and see if they're useful on a farm. So let's see. It's like a forklift. Put it into forward, away you go.
I really like this one because it's like a forklift size, but it has extreme off-road tires on it so you don't get stuck when it rains a little bit. So this is our depth tank, and during harvest we take it out of the shed to go fill up our machines. And with these off-road tires we can go out in the field and not get stuck.
So while this little mini was my favorite, next we're going to be moving on to Grant's favorite JLG. So this is more of a mid-sized range. It does have a full cab, and this thing we have used for so many different things. What have we used this thing for, Grant? Hit me with some examples.
So this machine is my favorite one. It got by far the most hours of any of these three on the farm. We use this for countless shop projects, including the restoring the old box scraper and the cultivator project. We have moved, I don't even know how many seed totes around the farm and into planters. This thing, we had this before we had a skid steer, so it did all the dirt work projects. I even built my first dirt bike track with this thing. And we've moved cars, we've got pivots unstuck, we've trimmed trees. We use this a ton in the big machine shed, moving equipment trailers around and the grain carts. I just gets used for all sorts of things. And being four-wheel drive, it gets in and out everywhere. And it's so nice because it's so easy to get into. You just slide right in and out. So if you're working on something in front of you, you can get in and out easily. It's been a great machine. Sad to see it go though. Now on to Gage's baby.
All right, party people. Today we're doing pull some trees. And I am in our JLG 595 with our tree puller pitster on the front. And I'm going to show you how insane this thing is. It has so much power, and I can drive it on the road. I don't have to trail it. Right now I'm going 21 miles per hour. I don't know, there's no need to trailer it like any of the others, like this skid steer and all that, when I can just drive it down the road going road speed. So I was saying we're going 21 mile an hour right down the road. Got my hazards on. Going to the field right now. I got the tree pull on the front. This would normally go on the front of a skid steer, but since we have this adapter that goes from the JLG big pins to our little skid steer pins, it works really nice. It just slides right in there and locks in. This thing has so much power. Yeah, it looks unproportional with a little tiny puller on the front, but this thing is a beast when it comes to pulling out trees. I haven't got stuck yet. I mean, you guys seen me pull out Grant with the shredder with it. It's just got these big floaters on the front and rear. I don't know if it's full differential or not, but it seems like it. In the cab here, I got obviously steering wheel. I have a shifter right here, forward, neutral, reverse. And on the back of my joystick, I got a shifter. This is my joystick that controls the hydraulics. Back is bring the boom up. Down is down. Tilt right is tilt the attachment down. Tilt left is bring it back up. And here are my sliders. So this one controls, here, let me get it so I can show you guys better. So this one controls my clamp. Forward is closed, back is open. This one on the left of the stick controls my boom. So if I want to extend it, I push it forward and the boom goes out. It goes from stage A to all the way to stage G. So I mean, it gets a ways out there. Like, that doesn't do it justice, but it's a whole nother length away from the telehandler. Here it is, fully extended. She gets out there a ways. I mean, that's a pretty good reach. That's good enough for what I'm doing with it. And what are this plus and minus signs for? These are for my gears. So this isn't just one solid gear. I have 6 different gears. When I'm in the field, I normally run in second or third. It's a good coasting speed. about 5-6 mile an hour. So I'm gonna get lined up here. So with these skid steers, or these telehandlers, all the tires move in sequence. So when I turn the wheel, all the tires move that direction. And then I can switch between this, I call this quad steer, crab steer, which I'll just show you guys. So I go down here to my switch, go through. So this will just be normal steer, like a car. So that my front tires just spin or turn. I gotta get them lined back up. Then if I go one more click, I have crab steer. So it's locking in right now. So now I'm in crab steer. So if you guys don't know what crab steer is, all the tires turn one direction and I go to the side. So I'm moving at a diagonal instead of going in a straight line. It's kind of cool. So like say I need to get into somewhere tight and I don't have room to turn in there, I just turn on crab steer and I just walk into it at an angle. Pulled up to my tree here. I gotta go a little bit closer, but you can see my little jaws, if all these sticks will get out of the way, my little jaws are around that branch. So I'm gonna clamp down on it and pull straight up, and it's gonna pull this shrub out of the way. I just gotta come forward a little bit more and see if I can get it all in there. I'm gonna push forward on my jaws to close them, and I'm slowly just gonna pick up and tilt back, and it's pulled one of them trees out of the ground. That's how simple it is. And then I just, on the back of my joystick, click it in reverse. I'm in reverse. Just let my foot off the brake. Slowly drive backwards. Turn. Gotta make sure I'm out of the power lines. So that beeping is, on these telehandlers, there's a weight sensor on the front. And what that does is it helps you prevent tipping the telehandler forward. So this is a yearly process. So every year after harvest, I go around all the fields with this and pull all the trees along the ditches or in any ravines or anywhere that a tree grows, I pull it. The reason is it helps not damage our equipment. So say there's a tree right along the edge of the field and we're driving the planter along the edge and the planter catches that tree and say rips a hose off or breaks something on the planter. Well, that could have been prevented just from pulling the trees. We have plenty of trees around here to help, and these ones are just sucker trees or mulberry trees that have no purpose being here. They're always just in the way and just break things. So that's why every year I go around pulling trees with this attached, this tree puller, and to prevent that. So I got in line with my tree. All I need to do is pull forward and our jaws should be around it. So you can see I didn't quite get around all of it. My jaws weren't wide enough, but I can pull out this half. And if I'm lucky, it'll be strong enough to where it pulls out this entire shrub. And then I gotta go do that one. So this is what it looks like when you get a full one out of the ground. And it doesn't break, all the roots. These things look alien. They're so weird. But if you're wondering what tree roots look like, that's what they look like. Kinda creepy looking. So here's another example of a perfectly pulled tree. You see the root ball all came out in one piece. That's what I'm going for on every tree I pull, because then the tree won't grow back. If I cut it in half, there's a possibility that it might come back. So that's what I'm going for. All I'm doing is I'm just driving along the creek here, looking for these little trees, which I got a lot of them last year, so there shouldn't be a lot in here. But there are a couple big ones that I missed that have grown quite a bit over the summer. So far it's looking good though. We don't worry about all this brush. It just dies and falls over when the wind comes up. Honestly, not looking too bad. I haven't seen a lot. There's one. That's one I pulled out last year. You can see it's laying there. But I'll go inside of here and around this backside again. Ooh, mud hole. Forgot that was here, but don't worry, she'll make her through it. Look at that. Just slowly crawling out of it. God, this thing is a beast. This thing is such a unit. Like, I haven't got stuck yet, and I've gotten through some pretty muddy stuff. So, I got my pincers all pinched back so I can kind of show you what's going on. So, I got my jaws open. I'm just going to close them down onto the tree. You can see it pitch down on it. And I'm just gonna tilt back. There we go. That's a nice one. That's a big root ball. Okay, so I just pulled up to this bigger one here. I'm gonna show you. It's just gonna pull this thing out of the ground, no problem. No struggle at all. It just pulled that tree right out of the ground. Look at that go. No problem at all. It's insane. I'll show you guys the root ball. Look at that. That's a lot of roots in the ground. Here's a pretty good tree. I'm just gonna get it lined up. This one's definitely one of the bigger ones right now. See, there's pressure against it. Put it in neutral. Put park brake on. Close my jaws. And just pick up. Look at that. Right out of the ground. That's insane. Look at that. Like, this is not a small tree. And I just ripped it right out of the ground, which that's exactly what I want. This thing is amazing. Look at that. So this is what it looks like out of the cab. Look at that. I mean, that's a good sized tree. And it's pulled it right out of the ground. Look at that root ball. That's a root. Let's go check out our divot. Yeah, that's a pretty good one, I'd say. That's pretty deep. So, honestly, this is probably one of my favorite pieces of equipment to run around the farm. It's just something about it. I don't know what it is or why I like it so much, but I just love running it. I like it because you can put so many tools on the end of this, so many attachments, and with every one it works amazing. Like, I've spent a lot of hours in this, and I can tell you, from an operator standpoint, this thing's pretty nice. It's cushiony, it's got really good AC, all the buttons you could ask for. I don't know what the majority of them do, but they're there, and it's even got cruise control. Foot is off the gas pedal. I'm holding 2,000 RPM like nothing. So I'm putting her through the true test right now. This entire limb off the base of the tree has fallen off into the field. I already got one of them ripped off. I'm gonna see if I can get this big one. If they can rip this big one off, holy crap. This thing is a beast. Oh yeah, I think it might be able to tug it off. If not, I'll just bring a chainsaw and cut it off. Alright, so I just like ran into it with the front of it, and it honestly popped out. Look at that. It's just ripping it out of the ground. Honestly, this thing, I don't know why you wouldn't have one of these around the farm. Alright, so I got in here. Now's the moment of truth. Will it pop loose? Ooh. I'm trying to snag it here. There we go, we're going. And now I'm in the tree, so I'm just gonna put it in neutral, put my park brake on, so that when I extend the boom, give her a little bit of throttle. It's going. Might have just popped out. Oh no, it's just coming back, it's caught. Let's put it in reverse. And back up, maybe it'll pull it off. Oh, it came out! Look at that! It came out and I ripped the tree in half. Alright, so I'm finished up over here. I'm gonna just prove to you guys. I'm gonna go right through this, no problem. First gear. Look at that, crawled right through it. Look how deep them tracks are. No problem. Look at that. That's a foot deep, and it just went right through it. Like it was just driving on land. You might be asking what I'm gonna do with all these shrubs. I'm just gonna leave them. Especially since there's a natural gas line that runs right underneath of me. I don't want a chance of them being tangled up in there and I pulling up that natural gas line. So those are just gonna stay there we'll have to just cut them down with a chainsaw another time. All right, so I'm back at the shop. I gotta unhook this and grab the grapples. So all I gotta do is pull that one up, go to this side. Holy crap, it's windy today. Pull it up. Now I'm unhooked. I just gotta unhook the hydraulics, drop it down, and hook up to the grapples. So now that I got the grapples on, just gotta push these down. This one's a lot tighter fit, but I'd rather be tighter on the grapples since you're dumping the bucket a lot. Lock this one down. And hook up the hydraulics and we're ready to go. Just gonna try to find the middle of them. You kinda gotta counter it since one side's heavier than the other. Yep, this is how I pick stuff up. Make sure, like I don't pick everything up like this, but say tree branches. I'll pick up like this to make sure I get all of them. Tilt the bucket all the way forward. Look at that. Got some weight to it, that's for sure. Oh, cow. I'm not surprised. It is a half of a tree. So I'm just gonna go here. Like, it's not that far. Don't want to pick it up too high since it is out a ways, because then I'll get way too front heavy. My sensor will start beeping at me and it'll shut down my hydraulics. My pile is right there. Gotta make sure it's all out of the field. Go. Might have to push it in a little bit. I think I'm sticking out a little. Just want to make sure I don't want to fish with the planer next year. Be a bad deal. And I've been seeing some comments asking if I'm related to Grant and Laura. I am not related, just to clear that up. We have been family friends for a while, and one night I said I was looking for a job, and the next day I was out running grain cart. So for all the people that I keep wondering if I'm related to them, no, we're just very, very close family friends. I've known them for a while. Me and Grant went to the same high school. He obviously graduated before me a couple of years, but he went to the same high school. Just to clear that up. I've been seeing the comments. Alright, so as Grant introduces, this is my big baby boy. I have so many hours in this machine, it's hard to even count. I use it for everything. It's faster than all these other ones, so we don't have to go get a tractor. I can just hook up whatever I'm going to use right onto this. Pulling trees, I've used it to move bales, move equipment around, cars. Today, I even spent all day pulling trees with this thing, driving through mud holes. Absolute beast. I've never gotten stuck in this, and I get stuck in a lot of stuff. So I've actually pulled Grant out in this thing. And I don't know if it's full diff lock, but whenever I'm pushing piles, all tires spin. Not like that one. So it's just an absolute unit when it comes to moving stuff around. I really wish we got the chance to move snow with it, but I guess we'll just have to save that for another time. But onto the cab. Easy access. Door, just climb up in here. Air ride seat. It's got a heated seat too. Joysticks. It has multiple gear ranges, not like the other two. So I got 1 through 6. Buttons out of the galore. I have so many buttons, don't even know what half of them do, but they're there. And this cab is just so spacious. The AC and heat work so good. And everything else is amazing about this machine. I'm sad to see it leave the farm.
As you saw in the beginning of this video, Grant and I traveled all the way to the Mine Expo and got a tour of a ton of different equipment that would be super cool to use on the farm, but really aren't that practical. The JLGs are the perfect example of machinery that's not technically ag related, but is actually so useful to have on the farm. And so we have been just so thankful for these machines over the past 3 years. Thank you so much to JLG for letting us demo these out for you guys. And I'm so excited to see where the ag line of telehandlers goes in the future. Here at Aurora Farms, we just really like operating equipment. So the chance to do this was really, really special. So thank you so much for coming along on today's adventure with us. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Say goodbye to the JLGs, everybody. Bye. Okay, top auger is out. That was oh my word, it does it. Look at the size of the tire compared to the JLG. Wow.